So even though chemistry I was not liking, but when I started working, whichever I learned during my education into the good college, I could be able to correlate that all thing theory. At that time only I was trying to mugging up other than physical chemistry. Physical chemistry I was liking. So whichever inquiring I have, I want to inculcate into that people to whom I try to train. That they should also have, even though they don't have. Many people I have seen that they feel that whichever boss is told, leader told, that is the Bible. I always used to tell, you don't consider that. Don't copy paste that. Right? You have your inquiring ability. You always utilize that your inquiring ability. Whichever questions are coming, there may be possibility that to colleague or to your senior to whom you are asking, they are not in a position to give the answer. Maybe possible, because they also might have been trained with such kind of leader. So for me, quality is nothing but one is discipline. If the people are disciplined, they are quality person. It is not required to remember the procedure. So if I am disciplined, my thought process itself will go into that guidelines, whichever guidelines it is talking, right? Artificial intelligence, we need to determine what can be validated, what cannot be validated. If it can be validated, then we can utilize it with validation, we can accept, because it is quantitative. There is no possibility for the error. I got opportunity to work in Merck, which was based in Mumbai. My managing director, so he said, Manoranjan, you will do better, your salary will grow, but you cannot become head of the department.
Welcome to the show. Today we have Dr. Manoranjan Kumar. He is a Senior Vice President at Hetero Drugs Limited. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I see that you have so much of expertise in chemistry from your educational background and then moving on into the pharmaceutical industry. So, how did you first get into the chemistry field? Was it passion? Was it some paths that led you into it?
Actually, Nandini, it is very tough question to answer because I like physics and mathematics, but I never liked chemistry. I belongs from Bihar, but every people, every student want to be go to UPSC, clear, go to civil services. So since I had to complete the graduation and I had to study in that particular college where I started my career, which was one of the best college, that is called TNB College, Bhagalpur.
Yeah.
So since after intermediate, I don't want to join other places, and I didn't get into the physics because I don't want to do math also as a graduation. So since I could not be able to get into particular college in the physics honors, that's why I chose chemistry, because I don't want to leave the college, right? Because the final objective was to complete the graduation and then move for the competitive exam, right? So that way chemistry come into. After that, I did well. I took admission into that master's, which is the postgraduate department of chemistry, where the only 22 students can be admitted. So I got the admission there. 2-3 months I didn't go because I was trying to parallelly prepare for the exam. Because for me, qualification, whichever minimum qualification was there, it was already completed.
Okay.
Then I got that from the HOD, who was very strict and disciplined. You write the justification or give the valid reason, otherwise your admission will be cancelled. Then my elder brother said that you go prepare there itself and do the study. So I went there, I completed my MSc. After MSc, I went to Delhi
Okay.
for starting preparing exam. I am from family farmer
From the
background.
background.
So I was altogether 5 brothers. I was fourth one. So only one elder brother was earning, who was in Punjab National Bank. Then I started preparing, and in the meantime, my father passed away, 1993. So then there was one kind of pressure, psychological pressure to opt for the job. Then applied for Lupin, and I got selected. That is Bhopal, Mandideep. There, I went there with all my books to ensure that I will prepare for that also. But when kind of upbringing whichever I have, that nobody should raise finger towards me for my work. So I tried, but finally I felt that no, it is difficult to manage both. So finally I continued into the pharma, right? That way my journey starts into the chemistry. So even the chemistry I was not liking, but when I started working, whichever I learned during my education into the good college, I could be able to correlate that all thing theory. At that time only I was trying to mugging up other than physical chemistry. Physical chemistry I was liking. So that way I could be able to do well. And the pushing part or which was encouraging part was my family background, which was always helping to be having that there should not be failure on the integrity.
Absolutely.
Right. No people should raise question that you're doing shortcuts or you are compromising on that your
True.
requirement.
So I guess chemistry chose you, then you
Exactly.
choosing chemistry. So I see that you have done a PhD in chemistry, sir.
Yes.
How did that journey start?
Actually, I joined Lupin before PhD completion, and when I joined from Lupin, I got opportunity to work in Merck, which was based in Mumbai, Taloja. So I was having good experience. So who was my managing director, Anand Apte. So he said, the Manoranjan, you will do better. Your salary will grow, but you cannot become head of the department. Reason being, you will not have the PhD. Because being a multinational company, they give always importance to PhD. Therefore, if you don't complete, you will not become. So that was the means starting point, and with help of one of my senior who did their PhD from Institute of Science Mumbai, so I got admitted over there. So that way my PhD journey starts.
What was your work about, sir, during your
It was
PhDs?
on the development and analytical method validation of stability indicating methods in API and the drug product.
Oh, that's wonderful. So
Uh,
somewhere, I guess, what work you would be doing in future, you had taken a thesis which was very correlated.
Exactly. Since I was already doing the work, so for me it was so easy to complete the task within 6 to 9 months. I completed my task. After that, I was waiting only for submission of the thesis and going for the viva. Right. So even my who was my guide, the person who was professor under him, who was in academics. So he told that he could not be able to publish a paper. Kindly keep his name also in your paper, right? So he will get his PhD. So that way. So it
So
was
what were the challenges you faced during your PhDs?
only I was having the extended work. Uh, Sometimes taking that, collecting the sample, impurity, uh, especially impurity, getting the impurity from the, because I'm not supposed to work with the product whichever is being done over there, but whichever work for one product I did at there, with their permission, we could be able to publish, because my HOD also allowed me, Dr. Vijay Kumar, to we can publish the paper together. So that way it was. Other than practical, there were no challenges. There were no challenges.
Was there a part of you that felt after doing a PhD, you would want to maybe enter academics or enter some other field?
No, when PhD was there, during interview, when I interacted with the teacher and when I explained my work, so they were saying the people like you should come into that academics. But I was aware about that salary part into that profession. So we felt that the kind of enthusiasm whichever I have or honesty to work, because 6 7 years already I have worked in the industry, so it will be difficult to match with their requirement, because one day one class will be there, right? So I feel that I will not be the right person. Maybe I can contribute to the students even within the industry by keeping ourselves in the industry, and we can go give the classes to them. That way we can. That way.
Thank you for sharing, sir. So, your role at Hetero Drugs API, can you please explain that more?
I am responsible for the total corporate quality assurance function of API business, who are involved into the manufacturing API and related intermediates, and some plants who are also manufacturing the API, supporting maximum to that internal API manufacturing. So I am total responsible for the corporate quality assurance compliance, which involves that harmonization of the procedure across the sites. So it will be the same procedure. So corporate driven procedure will be there. So there will not be inconsistency following the practices within the sites. My role will also be when the development happens at the R&D. So development quality assurance also I need to get involved into that, because the process comes from there.
Mm.
So if the process is not rugged, technology transfer is not properly done, then always there will be challenges. So that is my responsibility to ensure that process development followed by transfer, sampling method development, validation followed by transfer. It should be appropriate. So in the routine, when the manufacturing will manufacture the product, they should not have a challenge. At the same time, when the quality control test that, they should not have the challenge into the day-to-day routine, because there will be lots of variability with respect to column, with respect to solvents, different kind of training to the people. So if the method is rugged, it will be helpful for the analyst in day-to-day doing the good job.
So, how do you maintain this consistency with various sites? How do you manage that?
We have kind of two things whichever is very helping uh, into bringing the consistency on the quality of investigation. Uh, Everybody should follow, everybody should be aligned with. So every Friday I used to have the call with all sides. Like today, I came after 12 because 10 to 12 there was meeting. So in that call, quality control, quality assurance, all had their second line, manufacturing, R&D, if it is a required engineering team. So as a part of the investigation discussion, if any person who are relevant as a cross-functional team, they should be the part of the discussion. So we'll have the lengthy discussion on each and every incidents, either it is OS, OT, incidents, a market complaint. So we'll have the detailed discussion to determine the root cause and roadmap. So roadmap will be decided collectively, which is helping the two way. One, concluding the investigation into the effective way there itself. Second, development of the people who are involved into that. So it is a two thing we are getting. And because of that, people are also interested. They get encouraged. They get motivated. So that way, it is helping into the bring to the consistency. At the same time, some people fail to follow something. At that time, it will get surfaced out. So that also helps into bringing the consistency. And as I said, the corporate govern the total procedure. So they don't have any choice other than follow the total the QMS element related procedure. It will be governed from a corporate. So they are forced to follow that.
Okay.
That
So you've had a very long journey in Mylan Laboratories. Can you please tell us about that? And how did the transition from Mylan to Hetero Drugs happen?
Mylan, I started career as a site head.
Okay.
Uh, First, I will start that how I started my career. So Lupin, I was a bench chemist. At that time, quality assurance, quality control was common.
Yes.
It was 94 April. So there, total I got the learning on the working on the bench and taking more and more responsibility. When I used to, somebody used to ask that, can you help me? Right? First, I used to keep my work aside. I used to help them. And then I used to complete by staying my work. When sometimes my friend used to tell, why you're doing this? You have to go on time. But it was giving satisfaction and positive energy to do that. So it has gave me the foundation at that time. And because of that reason, my attitude, within 6 months, one who was that raw material in charge, Dr. Jadhav, he left and he joined IPCA. So who was my boss, Dr. Niranjan Singh, he asked that who will be the right person to fit into. And they took my name. And within 6 months, I became that in charge of the raw material. And I was started coming to the general shift. So all my seniors who was giving the training to me, they were means very angry, but they cannot on me because I was always respecting him. But they were on their boss that he has come 6 months back and we are officer, we are coming the shift, he's coming the general shift. So it has helped whichever foundation I got over there. From there, I moved to Merck.
Merck, yeah.
There I worked as a laboratory in charge where I was responsible for that total quality control development, method validation, as well as a regulatory filing as well. So that has given that dynamics for the different department of working. Then I appeared for the interview for the Pfizer. I got selected, but because of some salary and position, it has not worked because my salary has already become high. So Pfizer, I didn't join. Then I got into the Unichem as a corporate quality assurance. So boss who has taken my interview, by time I joined, he was already on extension and he got relieved. So I became that at manager level. I became the total in charge of corporate quality assurance, and I was responsible for looking after total analytical method development, supporting to the drug product development, formulation development, as well as the total. That was the company where I saw everything, every site, including test method and specification, was controlled by corporate. Most powerful quality assurance, corporate quality assurance I saw. I didn't see any company wherever other places I won't build. So from there, I got that opportunity into the Reliance, Reliance Life Sciences in Mumbai. At the same time, I accepted the offer, and then I got the opportunity from that Fresenius Kabi, Global Quality Assurance. So since it was a new activity, Reliance Life Sciences, so I left that. I joined the Fresenius Kabi as a Global Quality Assurance, where I had the opportunity to work for the injectable and onco product, mostly a sterile product. So there was only for 10 months or 11 months.
Okay.
Then I got the opportunity because after doing the all things, there were no work at Fresenius Kabi. So I used to go in the morning to the corporate office and evening I used to come. So I felt that this is not the time in 13 years I should be so much relaxed. So I decided to leave. So global HR head called. He told that whichever the position, whichever the salary you're getting, I will give 10% above to that. You be stay because people want you. I also said, I have not completed 1 year. Even my appraisal has not completed. So I don't have anything that you have not given. And because of that, I am unhappy. I am not having the work. He said, first time I am seeing the person who, because of less work, he's living.
You wanted more work.
Yes. So I decided finally that, sir, because I'm young and I have some ambition to grow. So want to work where I should have work. So then I joined Mylan, and I got the opportunity to work as a site head of the one of the API sites. And that way I started. Then lots of, since I was completing the work, the way approach I do for the developing the down the line people. I don't want to be that micromanagement. So always I used to drive that you develop, I will support you, right?
The
You take
direction.
the load, and I will take additional responsibility. So my boss used to, I was hardly 20% I was using for the site. I was used for the corporate quality assurance, even for the formulation side. If any new guidelines comes, any analytical related challenges comes, any market complaint challenges comes, he used to send to me at Nasik to do the support for the investigation that way. So I was 70% I was working for the corporate, 30% for the site. And then I grown into this, one site, then another site, where that site head, who was my colleague, he could not be able to implement that enterprise version of the SAP. So since I implemented that, at my site, I have been transferred to another site to implement that. And other sites of the API also, I was involved into implementation of that, because I was making the risk assessment. I was involved into that, whichever the documentation or whichever troubleshooting. So I used to be helpful for that. So from there, finally I came again into the corporate. They pulled me from the, site to the corporate office. At that time, I became associate vice president. So they pulled me to the corporate office. I worked there. Since all system was stabilized, from the global, so 4 5 years I worked into that system. So I feel that now working is the second line. Now, the system has been become matured.
Yes.
So I don't think I have anything to contribute here. So now the time is to learn whichever the learning I have, I should contribute where I can, and where I will have the more kind of challenges, there I can contribute more. And then I got the opportunity to do Hetero, and by meeting to the managing director and chairman, they were so transparent what kind of challenges they have being a, API company, and since it is a kind of proprietor based company, so we felt that it is a right place to engage myself and utilize my experience into that troubleshooting, and which has really helped, kept me completely busy for the last 10 years, right? Doing the lots of involvement, the lots of transformation, automation, right? So that way it has worked, and really thoroughly I enjoyed working here, because I utilized whichever the experience I got at different place, right? Here I could be able to contribute
It is
well.
very inspiring, so that you want to add value wherever you can. And when you realize that you have contributed enough and you want to do more, you immediately
Exactly.
jump on to the next one. That is
Exactly.
very inspiring. So, you've worked in so many organizations, so many pharmaceutical industries. What are few incidents that you remember? It may be on site issues, or it might be even managing people, or even giving a handhold of, teaching them where you want to manage other things. So, what were few incidents that you can recall in any of these organizations, which you would probably never forget?
One thing, always, maybe it is my inbuilt attitude, that always I consider the challenge whenever it is there. I never consider burden. I consider that learning opportunity to troubleshoot that, and it will be having that opportunity for me to grow. So every day when such kind of challenges comes, right, I consider that if I troubleshoot it, right, it is giving me positive energy. I have sorted it out. Suppose some data integrity issue is there. Suppose we find that something went wrong. How to handle that? How effectively handle that? Right. So I focus on that. There may be lots of troubleshooting might have come into the career. right? But always I thoroughly enjoyed how to effectively into the compliant way I could be able to handle that and troubleshoot it, which gives lots of satisfaction, personal satisfaction, that I could be able to handle that. Therefore, I never try to recollect that any incidents which is a kind of hurdle for me. No, always I consider that since sorting out it gives means happiness to me, so I feel happy
Okay.
that way.
Sir, what are your teaching methods?
Teaching methods, always I try to connect with the people, that first I consider that if I will be at their place, so always I keep myself in their shoe. If I would have been at their place, what question might have come to me? So first I will consider that what kind of question it can be asked. So I articulate that, I be ready for that. So, and my intent will always be there when I take that approach. So always I feel that I will have the very least question. When I explain, then there will be very less question. Maximum thing by anticipating that they might be thinking that how it will be, how it will be, how it will be, right? For example, any instrument handling, for example, simple culfisser.
Yeah.
Okay. So culfisser, what we do? Either we do the culfisser factor determination. Now culfisser factor, why we do, from where that, if 0.1566 or 15.66 it is coming, from where it is coming. So whichever inquiring I have, I want to inculcate into that people to whom I try to train, that they should also have, even though they don't have. Many people I have seen that they feel that whichever boss is told, leader told, that is the Bible. I always used to tell, you don't consider that. Don't copy paste that. Right? You have your inquiring ability. You always utilize that your inquiring ability. Whichever questions are coming, there may be possibility that the to colleague or to your senior to whom you are asking, they are not in a position to give the answer. Maybe possible, because they also might have been trained with such kind of leader.
True.
Right? So you don't, but at the same time, you don't feel that you know, your senior doesn't know. That's why you want to insult them. Or you feel that he doesn't know. You never feel that. Maybe possible that I might be knowing something, whichever you are knowing, I am not knowing.
True.
So always consider that. So that way is my methodology to connect, and whichever they may have question, anticipating that proactively I used to give the answer to them. That was my approach.
That is really interesting. I guess the learning never stops. We may always learn something, even if they are at a junior designation as well.
Exactly.
So what is quality according to you, sir?
For me, quality is nothing. Always I used to, when on the GMP or anything, people ask that, can you give the training on the GMP? I used to connect with them. I will not read any guidelines. Okay. I will take the bullet point, only title. And I will say that, what is that when you say the SOP? What is the SOP? What are the guidelines? Good manufacturing practices. It is nothing but the discipline. If you are disciplined, then nothing is different than that. If you are taking ownership as a disciplined person, then everything will be methodical. Why SOP is required? At home, some people are keeping their belongings scattered.
Yes.
Some people keep organized. Do they have SOP? Answer is no. When some people make that food at home, do they have SOP? All experience and their discipline. At that time, they will not get distracted anywhere. So for me, quality is nothing but one is discipline. If the people are disciplined, they are quality person. It is not required to remember the procedure. So if I am disciplined, my thought process itself will go into that guidelines, whichever guidelines it is talking, right? Many times I have not read the guidelines. When I'm reading that, I feel that I'm connected with that, right? So quality for me, it is a discipline, and give understand that in the pharma it is very important. because the patient safety,
Hmm.
right? Our relative can take that same medicine. Which of the medicine we are making, which company is buying? Suppose Hetero is manufactured. Which company is buying? Pfizer is buying, GSK is buying, Novartis is buying. You are purchasing the medicine from them. But the main active content is from where? Hetero, right? So at that time, we don't know from where this medicine, whose active ingredient has been used. So it can go to you, it can go to your relative, it can go to your spouse, children, anywhere.
True.
Right. So considering that as an importance, if the discipline is there and patient safety we are taking into the account, I think we can.
So, talking more about quality, how do you see the landscape of pharma is changing from the time you started working in the industry to now?
One thing whichever I am seeing that people are more dependent. I find that when we started, everything was manual. At that time, we can consider lab 1.0, lab 1, 2.0 kind of thing, right? So mostly it was manual. So even though whichever the discipline we have maintained, because we had the ownership or kind of leadership which we found. Now the landscape is more on automation, where there is a less scope for the manual intervention, manual related mistakes. So it is trying to get minimized. Now artificial intelligence are coming to the picture. Now, like when we implemented before guidelines came, FDA guidelines came, draft guidelines on that artificial intelligence utilization of pharma, we have implemented by that time by the use of some company that was Adri Infotech, and it is means when we give the description of the incidents, it gives approximately 90% accurate. Okay. By giving that whichever our database is there, because we have lots of investigation, because the number of sites whichever we have, so we have given the database to them. So learning has come to the machine by that, and external source also. So it gives when we give the description, some questionnaire it asks, it gives the root cause, probable root cause. If we identify this probable root cause is the most suitable, then it gives the hypothesis to determine the root cause. Then it gives propose the kappa. Then it gives that whichever our SOP is all linked. So it pull that training material which is required. So almost earlier 2 hours, 3 hours for the some complex investigation, brainstorming for making the roadmap it is to take. Now in the first hand within 30 minutes, it gives that roadmap which is helping into the discussion to reduce the time. Right. So the pharma is going very fast, where the manual intervention should be less. Scope of the integrity issue will be minimized because of that consistency of the quality. Now in the manufacturing, it will also come AI utilization. Now people are moving, development people are moving, right? So I think it will be means next 5 years. I feel that it will be different scenario for that.
Moving more about artificial intelligence, how do you see the benefit of introduction of artificial intelligence in pharma, and what all threats do you actually see?
I feel that we need to determine it artificial intelligence. Certainly, it is having the huge advantage. As I said, that few tools. First tool that is RCA tools, whichever we used, where we have taken that enormous training because the training is very important. We can make with the help of developer, they can give the software, they can give the application, but if the people are not trained to utilize well, then it will be biggest challenge. So when we took the RCA tools, we ensure that how people keep that appropriate description of that incidence. So we took that extensive training to every site. We didn't limit to that it is only at one place. Multiple session we have considered, and the people who are involved into the investigation, their training, and we demonstrated who was the subject matter expert from my team from corporate. I told that you have to take case study. You ask them to feed during training, the description. Give that, this is the incidents. Let the write, multiple people write. Okay. One, you keep the example of yours by showing in the last. First, you see that how much accurately it has come, right? So people different, they whichever they felt appropriate, they kept that, and we kept not from the one side, different sides. So it will be kind of learning and the approach of the different people, and finally they found that it is reaching to 70 to 80% accuracy outcome when they feed that whichever case study he has already inbuilt where the maximum accuracy was there. Then he feed that his description, only the description of the incidents. Now the result has come 90%, right? So they said that now you see that how much important your incident description is, right? So the way you are keeping that your question, your answer will come. So in that, training is very important. Every user who is going to utilize that artificial intelligence tools, their training is very important. If you don't provide the training, it is of no use. It is wastage. Now every site is so comfortable and so happily they acknowledge that to whom it was little delayed because so many sites are there. So every site we cannot implement at a time. So they were asking when you are going to give, when you are going to give. Now it is helping. They're taking the simply from there and having the discussion quickly. And now earlier 30 days it is to take. Now it is within 1 week time. Total roadmap will be available.
Yes.
Right. So it is helping a lot. So for artificial intelligence, we need to determine what can be validated, what cannot be validated. If it can be validated, then we can utilize it with validation. We can accept because it is quantitative. There is no possibility for the error.
So, which domain do you think it will be more useful, whether it is in method validation or whether it is in terms of testing? Where do you think that it can be more useful, and where do you think it might still take time to be put into use?
See, what we need to explore the possibility, right? Like as I said, first, why I have taken that method validation. Sorry, root cause analysis. Because the root cause analysis, it takes involvement of so many cross-functional team, lots of senior people involvement. So it is helping a lot. So we have taken the priority. We have considered as a tools. We cannot validate because it cannot be accurate because the final decision will be involved with the human. What is the correct probable root cause it is given? Either it is correct, not correct. That needs 4 or 5 root cause they have given. Now we need to select with the cross-functional team what probable cause is a more simulated root cause, right? Then hypothetically it can be demonstrated. Then it will become human-centric disease, right? So it cannot be only AI can do, but like robotic process automation be implemented, where be quantified because it is related to formula. It is flow is fixed. If the flow is fixed, it can be validated, right? When we define that flow and it will go as per the flow, then automatically that it will be qualified, it can be validated, and we are utilizing lots of time we are saving. One, repeat testing identification means same sample. If you remember 2008 or 2009 or 2006, I believe, Bocard, when the Peter Baker came, he identified the same sample is being ejected multiple times till pass the batch. Now, when the one auditor came, they were trying to see that as a part of integrity kind of thing. So one sample identifying, it was taking half an hour time for the one sample. Now, whichever the robotic process automation we have done, as a part of every release, it will go and verify that there is no repetition for that. Suppose stability sample is there, same batch is analyzed before. Now it is under the stability for different stations. Now the same batch it will get repeated, right? But it will give the reason. What is the reason for that? So reviewer need to verify if it is repetition and justify that. So it has become so simple, and there is no involvement of the people. Directly robot do, right? audit trail review. Every sample review, I need to review the audit trail, seeing that what line has been missed.
Yes.
Now it will give the total summary.
Correct.
Robot
Will be
will
less error.
Means error free.
Yeah.
There is possibility for the human has missed the line.
True.
Here there is no possibility for missing. It will give the report, directly verify, sign that.
That was a very nice example,
Right,
sir.
right.
So, what suggestions would you give for the current and the next generation who would probably want to take a very similar path like you in their career?
One thing, the new generation, first thing, they should not be copying to somebody. First, they should feel that their analytical skills, whichever they have, their logical thinking, whichever they have, they should analyze. Even though somebody has given, my boss has given, I will see that, I will analyze that. If I find that there is some gap, there is area of improvement, I should not be copy master. I should not feel that particular company, which is number one company I have worked with, that is the Bible. I am seeing that new generation, uh, I will say the 80 to 90% people, they believe that whichever good company they have worked with, they want to bring that SOP, procedure, right? Documents, protocol, report, try to implement here. Maybe their intent is correct to save the time, right? It is fine. You want to do, but are you customizing based on the particular company requirement? Right? Saving the time is important, but how much dependency you are closing your brain? You are not utilizing your skills, what knowledge you have, that you are stopping, which is stopping their development. So always I believe the new generation, what they should, first they should have the curious to learn. They should always analyze and utilize their brain in place of copying somebody. Yes, somebody is idle. Their every behavior I like uh, my that pharma guru, if I consider, it is a managing director who was in Merck. I always consider my pharma guru because that all kind of leadership, every behavior I used to watch, right, observe, and I used to follow. So you follow which you like, and automatically you will connect with the people whose behavior you will like, right? Whichever inbuilt inside you, if same thing is that side, then you will feel that, oh, I also have. Why I should not follow that? Even though you are not doing unknowingly, but you are getting connected. So very important. Be curious. Be disciplined. Have the ownership where you worked till whichever time you worked, right? Always don't feel that I'm working with the organization, it is not giving to me whichever I am supposed to. Maybe some people like buttering, bosses like that, yes sir, yes sir. They will give something more to them, which is not, they are not deserving that much, but you are getting not less than them, right? But you might be thinking, I'm doing that much work, I'm getting less, they're getting equal to me. It doesn't matter for you. Your value is always getting added. Until you are with the organization, you work heartfully. Don't feel that he's getting more, I'm getting less. Never. If it is not giving you work satisfaction, think for change. But till you are working with the organization, have the complete ownership to work.
Wow, that's very wonderfully said, sir. So, how has been your experience attending Analytical Lab India?
Analytical Lab India, I'm associated for, I think, last 5 years. I'm associated with in the as a National Advisory Committee member, and it was recommended by Dr. Rajiv Desai. So Dr. Rajiv Desai, I have worked with him in Mylan. So from there, my journey starts with him, and I found that he's a very good human being and good leader, right? Who inspired the people. He doesn't give the importance of his hierarchy anytime. So he's a good human being, good leader, and he has given the recommendation to bring me into this National Advisor Committee. And I used to be always be the sometime speaker. So that way.
It's really nice, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
It was pleasure. It was pleasure.
I'm sure the audience will be very interested to know all your stories. It was very inspiring. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was really pleasure.